Come on. It's not going. There we go. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to Episode Club. Today, we're going to talk about Harlots, Season 2, Episodes 1 and 2. And what a way to kick off the new season of this show. And joining me today is Erin, also known as Fake Aria, also known as Braavosi Broadcast. How you doing today?
I'm great. Glad to be here. Glad to be talking about season 2 and, hanging out with you guys tonight. So, yeah, you're right. A heck of a way to kick it off. They don't waste any time, really. We jump right in. So, yeah.
They start off with a murder, if that's right.
Well, don't be starting off nothing yet. I mean, we do got to talk about the big bad ivory or whalebone dildo in the room. We'll get to that at some point. Yes, we were talking about syphilitic culture here in the background, which I'll get into a little bit more. I think we had a little bit of a reveal here with the Quigley stir. Maybe there's a reason she's in retirement as well, but she does give good hand jobs, apparently. That's what I hear. That's what they're saying on the streets. So take it from me, Miss Scanwell. I know I've banged a lot of dudes because I went blind from it. The Lord punished me. Oh my God, I better shut up. I'm Johnny B. Crazy from House of the Conqueror, and thank y'all for having me on. Let's get with this shindig and Sasake. Peer pressure. That's all I got to say. You know what I'm talking about, Sasake. Don't look at me with those weird Kit Harington eyes and, whatever. Peter Griffin, I'm tired of you working out. I want my old Peter back. I love you, though. Okay?
All
right. Giggity goo. Quagmire's got to be so pissed at you for, taking his tagline. Anyway, y'all go ahead and get to it. I've got to go... Well, I can't tell you what I got to do, but it involves tweezers and crabs. I'll be right back.
Oh.
Yeah.
He lives the Harlots life, let's be honest.
Yeah, the show has infiltrated his life.
And I make moderate to okay money doing it.
He's a Molly boy.
Yeah, he's got, the show has infiltrated Donnie's life in more than one way. But yeah, this season, it starts off pretty quickly after, or not quickly, but it's a quite dramatic beginning. But before we get into that, this is actually going to technically be the last stream, I guess, of 2019, because next week is Christmas, and the week after that is New Year's. So it's like we get a little bit of a break. So we'll start, I guess, January 1st, which is New Year's Day. So woohoo! Start off 2020 on the right foot. But yeah, we're gonna take a little bit of a break so everybody else can catch up. Who hasn't caught up yet? Like Sasuke did, so she caught up. But yeah,
Sasuke has completely offended me by deliberately not telling me hello. And I have a vendetta out on you, Sasuke.
yeah.
Look, speak of the devil. Oh,
There you go.
okay.
There
There we go. See, I had to call you out like an asshole, and then you were already typing it at the time. Look at me. Look, I am just a Mr. Scanwell. I took one extra minute. Oh.
Yeah. So.
Well, let me read the comment at least, since you took an extra minute. Hey, House of the Conqueror. To be specific, they're Charles Poole's eyes from the second best sports movie ever. # 7 days.
That movie is actually quite like a funny movie.
Oh, Peter, I know you meant for my crab troubles. I mean, hang myself while I just throw some shampoo on my genitals. That's what because it didn't work. I don't know what the belt's for, Peter. Like, I'm trying to figure out. Shampoo and a belt is what works for the pinchers. Tell me what do you do with the belt?
I meant for your crab troubles.
Battles.
That's what he says.
Self-castration?
It says for your crab troubles.
Oh, I know, but where does the belt come in play? Does anybody know?
I'm curious too, actually. Peter?
That's a Peter question.
Sorry. Hopefully, Peter will answer us. Go
But
back. Go back. I'm being
yeah,
He's got
rude
some
here.
harlot tricks.
yes. And while we wait for Peter's answer, we're gonna. This channel's gonna have a slight rebrand of the name. It's gonna be called The Episode Club with my name. um, I think so. Yeah, we're gonna rename. It's kind of went already through its preliminary changes, as you can tell by the icon. And if you go onto the actual channel website or my actual channel, you can see that we've updated the art for the channel. So yeah, it's gonna be 2020. It'll be called The Episode Club. It might have my name in it, but yeah, just because this is what this channel has been by, and this will be the live stream channel. And then I got a couple ideas for more where the videos are gonna be placed. So look out for that as well. Probably be posting it on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, the news things for that. But enough of my spiel. Basically, channel changes and stuff are coming in 2020. Just look out for it. But what did you think about these first two episodes, Erin? Oh, and
um,
Peter's
oh,
answer is 20th century medicine. That's what they used to use for them. I guess so.
just put your belt on and those crabs will go away.
I guess so.
That's it.
Just keep your belt up.
That's the trick. Just a little tighter, I guess.
Yeah. But how did you feel about these two episodes?
Oh, I thought they were great. Yeah, it didn't waste any time. They get exciting right from the gate. They pick right up from where season 1 left off. So, with Charlotte, and she's with Mrs. Quigley and working in her house, and there's a new justice in town, and and then there's the situation with Mrs. Wells and Harriet and just at their house, and that's popping off. So yeah, they just jump right into kind of where some of the drama left off in season 1, like where the storylines were kind of cliffhangers.
Yeah, it kind of picks you up. Basically, it's like that not much time has passed since the last episode. But Johnny, if you're there, what did you think about these two episodes before we kind of jump in?
I don't know. I guess Lucy has perfected her technique. Charlotte Wells has separated herself from one titty and latched onto another, in the words of her mother.
Oh no.
Kind of. I'm paraphrasing here. No, I thought it was a pretty good start to the season. Get you kind of right back into it. There are a couple of lulls and lags in the first episode, just kind of some montage, whatever you want to call that shit. But it's all in all okay.
Until the end.
I guess Margaret was right about old Harriet. I really don't like Harriet, okay? Didn't Margaret Wells pay for her kids? Did she gave her the money back though, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
she
it
didn't
got
end up
thrown on the
needing
ground.
it. Yeah.
Either way, she still did it. And does that count for nothing? And then she admits that Margaret was right the whole time. I'm just getting into this, I guess. But she admits that Margaret was right the whole time. She was eyeballing her man. And what the fuck? Harriet. Now they're started up a new cunning house with, I guess the baddest bitch on the block, Miss
Emily Lacey.
Emily Lacey, and her Sugar Puff. That's what I'm gonna call him from now on, just Sugar Puff, because he ain't even a sugar piggy. He's a puff. That guy right there, man. Did you see him humping the couch? Before Mama got back home. Anyways, but we see Quigley gets a little bit of up comments. It's kind of nice. I feel like they're trying to humanize her to me, but honestly, I still think she's a treacherous cunny. And but everybody is human. I like her character. Don't like her, but I do like her character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Quigley. She's a crazy one. But hey, she's got motives and she got things to do. But like we kind of talked about briefly, the episode starts off with a bunch of just catching up, like in the Wells household. We see Lucy actually doing her job, so to speak. And there's a fight that's breaking out downstairs between Mrs. Wells, Mr. North, and Harriet. And basically, Margaret kicks out Harriet and her children, and basically tells Fanny if she speaks out basically about this, then she's next. Like if you do one wrong step, you're next. And Kitty goes running after Harriet, and um, and then basically Margaret's like, "Well, now that your girl has run off, how about my daughter?" And then Lucy's like, "Really, Mom? I'm the second best now, being put in this situation." And yeah, it's like one of those things where because last season, or predominantly parts of last season, she was so scared to now see this kind of like the flip of this, and her being like, "Really? Like, really, you want me to do this now, even though I was just finished like 5 minutes ago?" It's quite.
Well, I think she probably right about 3 dicks. No, I'm just fucking. No, I mean there's been enough time that's passed because she kind of just went right into whoring at the end of season 1. And this terminology, you probably think I'm just talking bad about women. No, this is what's going on in the show. So I'm not throwing judgment at these harlots here. I'm actually a
she
fan of
kind
the
of
show. So.
had that sort of empowering experience at the end of last season also, where she spent some time with Nancy, and Nancy was kind of like, this is how I handle, and we get a little bit more of that in the second episode when Nancy goes through like her her experience that we'll get into more. But Mrs. Wells even says, that Nancy's not like the rest of us. She hasn't been basically handled by half the guys in town or whatever. So I think that Lucy and Nancy connect on that level, and she was able to like kind of give her some empowerment with that. So I think that, yeah, there was enough time between now and then, or I mean between then and now, that she's like picked up a few tricks, and now, yeah, because she was like, from what we saw, she was having no problems doing her thing. So, and then even when she has that encounter with Lord Fallon later, she like he's asking her like, what's your deal? Like, I sent really good terms to your mom. And she was like, yeah, I burnt him. Like, she's just kind of, got her britches on, her big girl britches on now. So it's funny. She's grown up since last season for sure.
Yeah, she's gotten her big girl, I guess, pants on and whatever, and taking charge.
Her bloomers.
Yeah.
Let me say hey to Casey, by the way. Casey C. I think I already did, but I feel like I didn't. Anyway, Sasuke, another hey to you. An apologetic hey. Because, hey, sometimes I'm a dickhead. I was just kidding the whole time anyway. I don't know if you can tell if I'm joking or not. Not with the serious face I got on.
Yeah, with Quigley's almost scowl. Sasuke brings up a funny point of we almost got Lucy as an entry into the dairy hair debates. Except for a well-placed chair.
Is that legal? Isn't she still... No, she's 16 in the show?
Mm-hmm. I think the actress
right?
probably...
Yeah, that's legal. That's technically borderline. You can say that they're 16 on camera. It's weird, man. Start looking into
that's
all
why,
that.
Yeah, that's why they had to write Daenerys as 16 in the show, like in season 1, instead of 13. Whatever. That's why they had all the middle-aged children aged up.
I can't tell you who I'll be next time, so it's okay. That would spoil all the fun. I don't even know who I'm gonna be. It's just sporadic every week, but I'll look into that. I may surprise you with something.
He's gonna pick somebody new.
This is a banshee in every sense of the word. Like, screaming head. That's what a banshee is if you look it up, like technically. So this is what's going on. Mrs. Scanwell, if she was bodiless, would be a banshee.
or sunflower, depending on like what she looks like. Um,
This is
yeah,
ridiculous.
but and then so we get Lucy just is doing her thing, and basically Harriet's been kicked out, and we have a side conference to Mr. Armitage with the shirt off. Johnny, that's the request from Sasuke.
We'll have to wait till the super chat pops up here, or let me get my PayPal ready. I'll do all sort of weird things.
I still like Theon.
We got yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
let you guys watch as I put lotion on my back hair.
we also have this whole side
Strong.
conversation
How many
with
times do I get to say that?
with not Lucy, Kitty and Harriet, and they have like this side conversation of like, well, she kicked me out, so it's be best that you leave as well, so you don't like end up in a precarious situation where she's like, some man died and she killed somebody with her bare hands. Like this.
Yeah, but that's to save her kids. Fuck you, Harriet. What would you do to save your kids? Apparently a whole fucking lot, okay? Stop with this hypocritic bullshit. Everybody's just a hypocrite. And I mean, that's really what happens in life anyway. That's just how it is. But it is fucking annoying. Harriet may never come to her senses. It seems like she is just straight up rivals with Margaret Wells. Oh, she didn't help you at all. But I know what? Her man, Harriet's man that died, really loved Charlotte. And that's where, not Charlotte, fucking Margaret. And that's where all this started. You know, that's where all this jealousy and shit started. I think that's the whole reason why she's trying to get up on fucking Mr. North.
Yeah.
That's it. She's just kind of
Payback.
being vindictive right now. She's hurt. Her whole life has been upturned. She's had to, out of sheer desperation, become a cunny slinger. And yeah, I said cunny slinger. And you know, she's going through a tough time, but damn, if she ain't getting annoying right now, but you know, she'll see the light at some point or die. You know how TV shows go. But right now, it's, you know, as it ended up later, because she's like the first hooker in Emily Lacey's gaggle of hoes or harlots or sex workers, whatever you want to call them. I love adjectives, but we get to. Well, I would say that they're just set up to be a rival. You know, you got the. It's fair to say that Mrs. Quigley doesn't have that many years left. Somebody's got to take over that. Maybe it's Charlotte. You know, Charlotte. I think she gets hotter every season. I don't know what's up with that.
Charlotte?
Who knows? Yeah, Charlotte Wells gets hotter every season.
I know. She's great.
It's crazy. But I like where she's at as well. I don't know. I'm just floating off like a head into this
Like a
crazy
floating
meandering talk. But yeah,
We also in this not in this specific scene, yeah, and then we find out that Kitty has plans for herself, Harriet, and Fanny, and basically that they're all going to leave Margaret Wells in the dust and start their own business where they'd have no board. It would just be the three of them. One of them would be with all the kids, and then the two other ones would be working at the time. And you know that because they're paying so much attention, we've learned from watching as much TV that we do, that when you pay so much attention to one character in one episode, that usually doesn't end well for that character. So we'll talk about the demise of Kitty in a few minutes, but that's like a sweet idea, which obviously doesn't pan out. And poor Fanny, she's like, I always thought Mrs. Wells was my mother. And it's like, oh no. It just almost seems like Fanny is to play like almost, it's weird. She's like playing kind of early, I know just relating it to Game of Thrones, but like early almost Samuel Tarly vibes, where it's just like, I just thought that this was going to be a nice thing to do, or something like that, where she's just like innocent, but also pure at the same time. And then, especially with what she also says later, is quite funny as well. But yeah, they plans that don't actually end up panning out as they should with poor Fanny.
Yeah, Fanny's kind of going through. I mean, maybe it's just because she just had the baby and she's going through like some kind of postpartum kind of weirdness. But yeah, she's like been having these sort of
She's on borrowed time with that baby though too, right?
Well,
because even Mrs. Wells is like, when she's done nursing, it's like, what are you gonna do? Throw in a dumpster? I don't know. She's insinuated something.
Girl, and then you can, until the baby's weaned. And like, it's like Mrs. Wells is kind of going through this weird thing too, where she's like, everybody's turning against me. She goes and talks to Nancy. She's like, everybody's turning against me. But then she does kind of fucked up shit like that, where sorry, excuse my language, but she does that, like, where she's like, while that might be house policy, really, when you tell somebody that they have to get rid of their baby after she's, weaned, that's
especially like truth. for a woman who doesn't have any family too. It's like, where are you gonna bring this baby? Like, it's like
she's just been too. Yeah. She keeps being put. Unfortunately, Fanny keeps being put in these situations with Mrs. Wells where she catches her at a bad time, and then Mrs. Wells is kind of like snappy with her response to her, and it may not be what she intends, but it's coming off not so great for Fanny.
Yeah. That's the case.
Her man's back though.
So,
yeah.
That muscle hamster's guarding the house, and he will burrow into any asshole and just cause a raucous and a massive devastation, much like an inverted nuclear bomb.
Yes.
Whoa, Mr. Armitage, the inverted nuclear bomb. Is that what you said?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll make Sasaki happy.
There you go, Sasaki, just for you.
She also said that she wants.
Hey, his nickname's Lemmy Wings.
Oh, Jesus. Sasaki also says that she wants to profess her love for Fanny, and she says that she's my girl, and then she said she would be able to kick out Fanny if she was the only one left in the end. Exactly. And she says, well, you also saw what happened to the girl who gave birth to Bara in Baelish's bra. Yeah, who was in Baelish's bra.
Baraka? That crazy motherfucker from Mortal Kombat. Choo-choo, and them arms with the fucking blades coming out, and he's got all the spiky teeth. That's what happens when you do some cunning inbreeding. Oh, you're not talking about that.
No. Bara, the baby in season 1 of Game of Thrones. Bara.
Poor little Bara.
Oh, there's a kid. Who was that?
Who was that? For Bara.
In Game of Thrones?
Robert Baratheon's bastard with the one
baby in the brothel.
Oh, I never knew that baby had a name. It made me. I was able to cope with it a little better.
It's like a huge thing.
That baby didn't have a name.
I just listened to that in the books. Like,
you guys know, if you watch Watchmen, I didn't even know whether this one kid was a girl or a boy. I don't pay attention to the kids for the most part unless they're like, why should I know the name of that baby? Why do I got to take that pain in my heart?
Listen,
and it's just a TV show.
She named her Bara because she's a bastard baby, so her last name is going to be, what is it in
King's Landing? So it's
middle name is Theon.
Rivers or
Bara Theon.
Rivers, I think it is.
Bara Theon Rivers.
Because there was
Baratheon. Yeah, so Bara.
No, middle name Theon though, because she got banged by Theon too. She don't know who the daddy is. Bara Theon.
Waters. Yeah. We're all being corrected. It's water.
Oh shit! See, we're really
if you listen to Game of Thrones, they called him Gendry Rivers.
Well, I never said a last name, so I didn't get all in that.
This is not a Game of Thrones fucking stream right now,
I
okay?
mean,
So
I
we do
swear.
not have to be
Look,
on point, okay?
you've offended Sasake like
I am
15
sorry,
times.
Sasuke. My God.
You're gonna have to like beg for the forgiveness of great
Seriously,
Sasake.
Sasuke.
I mean, now she's just telling everybody all
We need to
the
be
Waters
flogged.
characters from Song of Ice and Fire.
We need to get. You're right, R.N. Waters. You are right. I like that little bastard.
Well, if you listen to Game of Thrones,
I don't know what you're laughing at, Casey. Quit it.
Casey. Casey's like, I knew the whole time.
That was so fucked up on the show, though, Sasake. I so agree with you with that.
Game
Man,
of
as soon
Thrones
as Dan,
reasoning and
like,
logic says that you're not Gendry Rivers, you're Gendry Baratheon. It's like you fucked up.
also nobody's like, hey, John's a bastard. He rode this dragon. We made a big scene about it. Why can't he ride a dragon? Nobody asked why he can ride a dragon.
I know.
They're like, oh, his bastard rides a. He's so crazy he could ride a dragon. Really?
Should we change this to a Game of Thrones stream right now?
I don't know. I'm fucked up. I'm sorry. Hey, I just went off on a tangent.
I'm down. You know I'm down, but
No.
just
Be
saying.
clickbait, imagine. It's clickbait. It's like,
Well, Orain Waters done took off with the whole fucking fleet. I don't even know where that bastard is. Does anybody know where he is right now? I just know he's gone.
He's in the Stepstones right now.
Yeah, he's the king of the
made himself-
Stepstones, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know this
He's like
much.
like a small
Raccoon?
amount of.
I can't remember that dude's name. He's in the World of Ice and Fire. Something Raccoon. It's a crazy name, but he was the king of
something
Ralico. Some shit
something like that. Rangoon. That's Chinese food.
Crab Rangoon.
I don't know.
Look, my head looks like a crab rangoon. Boom, boom, boom.
Cersei gave him everything because he was Vhagar Escadi, I guess, Orion Waters, whatever. And then she says there's just a few people that care.
Exactly. Cersei 5 in A Feast for Crows.
Yes, nimble dick crab rangoons. Okay, I love it.
Oh my god, I need to make that recipe on my
Do
channel.
it. I'll
Holy
help
crap,
you with it.
That's fantastic.
I will send you the nimble dick crab.
Oh, we just need to we just need to deep fry your head.
Fermented crab rangoon.
Boom, boom.
Fermented crab rangoon.
Will that be? Yeah. Only
Johnny,
with your consent will I send you my nimble dick fermented crab. Gotta make that clear in this environment that only.
Oh jeez.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start crying. Sasa, why don't you get us back on track?
This is taking a turn for a terrible fermented crab situation.
Well, here we go. Well, now that Harriet's been like kicked out and we know that what Kitty wants them to do, we see that Mr. North himself is also wanting to leave because he's like, your jealousy is too far gone, so I'm going to leave too. And then Mrs. Bells goes, well, why? And it's like, well, because you're a jealous bitch is basically what Mr. North is saying. And he's like, I can't handle that right now. So we have Mr. North leave and he kind of goes off and does his thing for the latter part of the story. But then we also find out once Margaret Wells is hanging out with Nancy, we find out that Frenchie has left. And I bet, Johnny, you were very sad when that happened, that the French girl had left. But with 50 pounds in
Frenchie's trapped in the closet in that house that
Lydia Quigley
damn it,
got her
Emily
hands on
Lacey's
her.
in. Yeah, she didn't know she's trapped in there, so she accidentally took too much laudanum. It's in a weird twist of events that comes
Frenchie
back.
took off with the Irishman.
Yeah, she went with Daniel Money.
Hey, I couldn't blame him. I mean, but she will take all his money, and when he's broke, she gone. That's just who she is, though. She's upfront about it, at least.
You don't have any money.
Yeah, Sasuke's question. Where did Frenchie go, by the way? Did she get any acting gig, or will she pop up again later? I don't know.
Did you know your eyes were closed when you took that picture, Sasuke? I'm just joking. I know it's from the tennis movie on HBO that's fucking hilarious.
7 days.
7 days in hell.
where they play tennis for 7 days. I don't know.
I loved it.
I'll have to look that up for you. Maybe
And
I'll
yeah,
look up IMDb and see where she went. Um,
I thought it was hilarious. Kit Harington was hilarious in that. And
yes.
I think Sasha K's got one of the best profile pictures in the fucking in the
Mhm.
universe. I always give a crap about it, but it's just cause if I give you shit, that's cause I like you. Not like that though. This isn't kindergarten. I'm talking about anybody, even Peter Griffin. I'll touch his chiseled breasticle. You know what I mean? He's been working out. If you haven't seen the pictures, you still there, Peter? You got me on your big screen. You looking at my floating head? You nasty.
Peter.
You so nasty. I'm being so stupid.
Yes,
Sorry,
Sasuke.
guys,
Well, fuck
but
my old boots.
uh, go back. Can I ask y'all a question? I'll just kind of. I'm gonna
Yes.
ask y'all a question. Let's talk about. Can we talk about Nancy, or is that just too far ahead? Are we going in
No.
chronological order, or what are
Well,
we doing here?
we're talking about her talking to Nancy about like, oh, oh, poor is me. Like all these people are leaving me and all of this stuff, and she's like, bitch, shut the fuck up, or whatever. Because we also find out that one of Nancy's girls got taken for stealing, which we forgot to mention, but that's fine.
Yeah,
But go
we'll come
ahead,
back to that.
ask about Nancy. Oh,
Yeah, well, I mean, just to ask about Nancy. Is that what ultimately led her getting flogged?
Oh,
I froze. Does that is that what ultimately led to her getting flogged? I can't remember what. I like missed something, and then she was all of a
so
sudden just walking in the courthouse on her own, right?
well, no, she got so they kind of rioted because they let was it because they let Lydia out of jail and they
And
weren't
they found
doing
a piece of
anything.
evidence on.
Yeah,
Uh,
they were trying to present evidence on Lydia and they wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take it, and then Kitty ended up getting murdered. So after she got murdered, they during her funeral they all got kind of riled up.
okay.
So and they went over to the justice's house, and then she ends up getting arrested. And then the next morning, the gallery is closed. The justice closed the gallery to the public, so nobody saw what was happening until Nancy came out and got flogged.
But Sasuke has a pertinent question. What happened to the guy bent over pantsless in Nessie's house once she was arrested? He's actually, you got it right. He's still
yeah,
there, and he's like happily still there because he gets a little bit of reprieve. Now he can take a bunch of ass whoopings because Nancy's going to be ready to delve him out as well as soon as she heals up.
yeah,
That was rough, and was she charged with inciting that
yeah. I
or
think so.
what?
Yeah. Well, I think she was just kind of up at the front door, like when the whole crowd was over at the justice house, like pounding on the door. Um, she was
Yeah.
kind of up there closest, and so I think she just ended up getting grabbed because Lucy and whoever else they were grabbing Nancy and like getting her out of there so that she wouldn't get arrested also. So I think they were just like, the people who
Yeah, and
happened to get
Lucy
away.
sent her little brother off by himself, and I was like, "How stupid are you? Your mom said get him home, and you're just gonna
Right?
leave this kid in the mean streets. This ain't just a normal. This is the mean streets of London, yo. What
Mm-hmm.
the hell?
Mm-hmm.
You got this, buddy. Go ahead. No
Yeah,
one's gonna
run
scoop you
along.
up and send you to America or anything like that. I'd be so scared. Oh
Mm-hmm.
my gosh." But
Yeah,
yeah, I think Lucy needs to be slapped a couple of times by her mother, not like some corporal punishment from her mother. Miss Scanwell would approve.
Mhm.
She's getting big in her britches. She's confident, which is good, but she's getting cocky. And she kind of thinks she knows every fucking thing, which all kids of that age think they know everything. So she needs to be knocked down a peg or two by her mother, because if she's not, this is going to come at the hands of Lord Fallon, who's going to shove pomegranate seeds up her ass if she doesn't watch out. She's playing games with people that she don't understand. Like, she's playing the game, she's getting good at it, but she don't understand what she's doing and what this entails, and she doesn't necessarily know how to read people. She got scared with the pomegranate, but she's playing with fire. She thinks because she killed a man, I know this got to be in her head,
Mhm.
that she's invincible. No one can really touch her. And when you're that age, you think you're fucking invincible. Let's say you kill a man that was scaring you. Well, you think you can just kill any man if you got to. that it'd
Yeah.
be that easy. You don't feel as vulnerable, which is powerful and empowering, but you need a little bit of humility, which, just comes with age and experience and getting beat down by life.
Well, I don't think, yeah, she really grasped the gravity of, what her mom did for her, and like kind of, ensured that she, that Lucy didn't go to the law herself, and that basically that she didn't get in trouble for any of that. And, she took that murder onto herself, like when she killed George Howard, when Margaret strangled him, she was like, it's my murder now. Like, and Lucy just, I don't think that she can even, like, she can't even conceive the idea of, like, what her mom did for her in that situation. The burden that she took.
Sounds like he brings up the Night's Watch again, but don't get me laughing with that again, Johnny.
What about Bowen Marsh, the old pomegranate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Night's
Face
Watch.
is red as a pomegranate. Yeah, this is a very Game of Thrones themed episode.
The Night's Watch. And then it's like, what is it? The Lord Commander of the Night's Watch.
Heard Bowen Marsh gives better hand jobs than Miss Quigley. Boom, bunch.
But I hate Bowen Marsh. He's a piece of shit.
I did look up where Frenchie went, and her after her Harlots.
Read Sasuke's comments.
Harlots she went on to Fantastic Beasts and The Crimes of Grindelwald and played Rosier, and now she's in a new show called The Rook, and her character's name is Sophia. So, yeah, but I'll read Sasuke's comment. Which one? Lucy is a dumb bitch. This is how that's how I think of her now. She better redeem herself this season, and it says Bowen Marsh is that guy, the guy that it was bent over in Nancy's house.
Bowen Marsh. No, Pip. Oh my God, I was gonna say Pip's taking care of him, but
yeah,
that would be mean.
Right.
Poor Pip. Like, what about Pip this episode? I don't even remember his name. Little gypsy guy.
Yeah, the gypsy.
Rat face. That's what I think.
Yeah.
He basically calls him. It's like wants to, because they go and
I like you.
Yeah, they go and try to testify against Lydia Quigley, because Lydia Quigley is end up charged with kidnapping of young women. So he wants to like testify against her once they have a case.
500 pounds. You can kidnap as you please. No, they couldn't prove that though. It was like a lasciviousness or some house. Or same thing that
she got arrested for having a bawdy house and being a bod. And they fined her with 500 pounds, and then she couldn't pay that, so they locked her up. And while she was in the courthouse, Mrs. Wells started hollering and saying that she's kidnapping pimp or whatever. And he was like, oh, do you have evidence of this? Or she said that she would make a formal, complaint of that against her or whatever, but that she needed to have proof of it. So that's when old what's his face popped out the cut and said that he
the judge.
Yeah, he saw the judge get murdered.
What are you talking about?
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I was stuttering because he's the stuttering judge, which I think this is gonna prove to this kind of defines his character at this point. So we'll see where they go with that.
Justice Hunt.
Just cutting in. Is it ironic that I'm eating a taco right now while we're talking about cunnies? But don't bunch. Anyways, I'm just making awful jokes tonight.
I remember we used to make like funny hashtags with like tacos, like and then like something else too, like in other like early other streams that we used to do. It was funny. But yeah, it was like they basically that he goes because the judge goes to Quigley's house and basically charges her. And this is how Mrs. Quigley gets up in jail for like basically 2 episodes. then yeah,
Giving hand jobs to the jailer.
the creepy jailer.
That was pretty good though. He played her good.
Yeah. And that she wants to bring Justice Hunt goes to Dame Death's brothel and wants to expose the secrets. And she's taken in just to pay £500, which holy crap, that's a lot of money. And then we obviously see that Charlotte wants to get her out of jail, and do as much as she can, but also at the same time that the girls can kind of go off and be themselves for a little bit, but then they obviously that turned into Emily Lacey's job
Be
a bit
yourself. Be yourself.
later. And
What
then
funny movie is that from?
Be Yourself.
It's a song, yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
But then
Somebody will catch it one day.
we find out that there's one person that can potentially help her pay the bail money, and it is the new character for this season, which is, let me just look at the notes. It's Lady Isabella, who is played by Liv Tyler.
The biggest elf on the planet. Liv Tyler still looking strong.
I know.
She was in I think she was in a movie with. Oh yeah, she was in Gunpowder with Kit Harington. There we go, another Game of Thrones reference.
She played the barrel of gunpowder.
Oh, no. Yeah, she played like his cousin, and it's funny because the character that he plays in that movie is actually a distant relative of his, which is quite funny. But yeah, so we get introduced to a new character, Lady Isabella, and she come from a lot of money, and basically it's like a whole story of like, go and ask her for the money, and we get introduced to a new character. What did you think?
Well, so Charlotte is basically being Lydia's like her only friend, her only person that's helping her, her only like confidant or whatever, the only person that's, trying to help her once she gets sent to jail. And even before she goes to jail, she's like, just calm down. It's all going to be good. They're going to find you. Everything will be fine. She's like taking off her jewels. She's like, everything's going to be fine. So when she goes and tries to help Lydia says, that her most valuable thing that she's like gained over the years has been information and knowledge. And so that's how she feels like she can get out of her situation. She needs somebody to help her. She tried asking the Spartan guys. She tried writing to Lord Fallon, but he didn't seem to care. And so her kind of final card that she could play is she says she has a secret on this woman, Lady Isabella and Lady Fitz. And so she sends Charlotte over there and says, just tell her, like, basically threaten her if you need to, but get the money from her. And so Charlotte goes out there and she's like, fancy, highborn. She's the heiress of Blaine, and she's highborn. She's rich. She's like fancy, lives in a huge mansion or castle or whatever it is. And she's like, what the hell are you doing here? When she sees Charlotte, like, this is a really funny joke that there's like a whore on my doorstep. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then her brother is like, oh, I want to see the woman who basically sent George Howard to his early grave or something like that. It's this whole funny side.
Oh no, we're saving the ivory dildo for last. Pretty sure that was ivory or whalebone Sasake, which was the bee's knees back then, and still kind of is in some countries today. But fuck the people that still use that stuff and still make anything from ivory.
Save the elephant.
They can choke on my syphilitic taco.
No,
That was gross.
save them elephants.
But look at it. My taco's staring you right in the face right now.
Or is it?
Do you think they may try to make her face with the bonnet look like a female genitalia?
I mean, maybe
know.
like a baby.
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make a crude joke because I have nothing else to add to the conversation.
I mean, maybe like it's one of those situations where it's like the costume design was like, might as well. Sasuke, your taco looks like Mrs. Canwell. Yeah, we get this whole storyline, and it comes to basically just like, well, we'll be fine, and all of this, and that, that storyline I feel like is going to play out for pretty much the rest of the show that we have so far, I guess, because I don't feel like an actor as the caliber of Liv Tyler, even though she's not a big actress, that she's probably one of the biggest names that this show has for at least North American viewers to have. So, yeah. And then
well, let's talk about the ivory in the room. You want to go ahead and talk about that? While Miss Quigley is gone, the children play, of course. There's a big old party. Emily Lacey is trying to, and well, actually, what's his name? What's Miss Quigley's son's name?
Charles.
Charles just, he wants to take over Mama's business, and he's kind of turned into a drunk here at this point. Mommy hit him, and it's just spiraled ever since then. And then he's literally just wrapped around the finger of Emily Lacey at this point. He dropped one mama for another, basically. It's all he's done. He's a very codependent man, and that's his mother's fault for how she raised him. I hope he can kind of overcome that a little bit, but he is trying to take steps. He was trying to take over for his mom while she was gone, and ultimately take over the business. And Emily Lacey was scared about it. She was trying to, being convinced to. That's the reason she was convinced, right? Because Charles was going to be able to take over the business, and if she testifies against Miss Quigley, then, well, she gets to run the brothel by proxy, basically, because she does wear the pants in that relationship. It ends up kind of working out for them, but they get, the big dildo gets found in the chest. It is like a great treasure, apparently, to Miss Quigley. I really almost get a little bit nauseated thinking about her using that. Maybe the bald spots aren't from syphilis. Maybe it's from her head rubbing against the carpet while she's using her dildo. Oh God! But yeah, y'all go ahead and talk.
That thing would
I'll
have
shut up
some
after that
power to make you like rub your head on the ground.
It's got a steam-powered engine you can attach to it.
And don't judge a woman for having a very personal relationship with her personal
massager.
Yeah, exactly. Massager is what they are titled on Amazon. Okay. You need to have a good relationship with that.
Sasuke says they were playing hot potato, but called hot dildo.
Hot dildo.
The new version of hot potato.
Anyways.
That's the R-rated version. But yeah, we find out, and basically Emily Lacey also at the same time, she's like giving them, the girls, like the finest port and dressing up in different outfits, making them basically have a party. It's like when the cat's away, the kid, or when the mom's away, the kids will play. That's basically what they were doing. Even so far as Emily Lacey dresses up as Mrs. Quigley and even puts on the makeup, the wigs, and everything. And when they come back, she's
don't make me explain that, Sasuke. Back arc, neck all the way whipped back, and the top of your head rubbing against the carpet. And that time,
Johnny's
talking about Miss Quigley here. I
real imagination
accidentally
here.
pictured her doing it while I was talking about it, and it's fucking seared in my brain, and I can't get it out. Someone help me. Put a better image in my head, please. I'm sorry, I am a sick and twisted piece of shit. But you know what? Y'all enjoy it. So.
Oh Jesus, Murphy.
We don't judge you.
But yeah, they get,
This is what Johnny's wildest fantasies consist of.
and I bet you think,
Mrs. Quigley and a whalebone.
but there's always Septum Ordain. You can always picture Septum Ordain instead.
There you go.
No. Maybe she's allergic to the upholstery, Sasuke. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just. Sasuke is debating me on whether or not Mrs. Quigley can actually get a bald spot from the act of masturbation. And you know what? I'm going to stand by myself. Yeah, she got it. I went through the Dexter forensic files before I murder her, wrap her in saran wrap and murder her. I had to go through and find out that she was guilty of assassination by masturbation.
Oh my God, Septum Ordain has a weird.
I got it.
I bet she can see the future when she's masturbating. And the past.
Oh my God.
Put that up on the screen.
I mean, maybe. But yeah, we get the party, and that we see that even Emily Lacey wants to wear Mrs. Quigley's outfits, and it even freaks some of the girls out. They're like Mrs. Quigley, and then they realize that it's Emily Lacey. And yeah, Charles. I mean, he's just sitting there and be like sit there and look pretty, but you know, just sit there and be quiet. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just writing terrible things in the chat. Okay.
Yeah, we get that whole situation, and then
Kanitsky agrees with me here.
They find out there is. We find out that
Judging pace may have came from Mira. Who knows?
Fran would appreciate that. Let's be honest. Hashtag Queen Mira forever.
You okay, Erin?
She's laughing. So then we find out that
well, you know what they say, werewood's harder than concrete. It's perky too, so
it doesn't ever, it just turns to stone, so you know. Maybe that's what Mrs. Quigley actually has.
It's the Medusa of dildos.
Maybe.
Okay. I'm sorry, Mackenzie.
And then Mrs. Quigley has to, you know, do what she has to do for the jailer, which is entertain him with her hand, and also give her the wig, the powdered wig. So then we find out that Mrs. Quigley doesn't have all of her hair. She has this massive bald spot in the back of her head. But eventually,
there's a couple of them.
Yeah. But eventually, you know, she'll get out of jail because, you know, Mrs.
My carpet theory. This doesn't become a thing.
Quigley's not going to stay in jail for too long. But yeah, and then let's see. And yeah, we just get. I guess we can talk about like the next one because I think we kind of talked about everything that's for this. Besides, we missed the last thing we kind of have to talk about. This big that happened this episode is the death of Kitty, because he comes to the Wells house. Lord Fallon comes to the Wells house looking for not Charlotte. Jesus, Lucy. But she's like, oh, I'm not. She's not here. Blah blah blah. And then she's like, well, you can come with me. And it's like, oh, you know that this is not gonna end well. And it's just like, who says that? And Johnny, you wanted to bring up a point about the redheads in TV shows, didn't you?
Oh yeah, redheads don't make it. They never make it till the end, except in Game of Thrones. That's the one exception to the rule that I can think of. Redheads never live. So if you got a favorite redhead character, more than likely there's a 98% chance they're gonna die. Okay, so redhead equals like red shirt from Star Trek. It's just a general rule of life. Half the soul, half the life on a TV show. You know,
It's true.
I'm half redhead, so I got like 3/4 of a soul. It's okay.
Yep, yeah. And there's just me. But yeah, Kitty ends up going with Fallon, and then also at the same time we have a masked man come to the Wells house and it's like basically stop investigating Lydia quickly, and then drops, I think they said, a pig's heart on the ground. But yeah, and then the show kind of ends with first Fanny finding Kitty with her throat slit, and then then all the kid, everybody else has to help bring her inside, and it's sad. We lose another character that we loved so much, even though she didn't get like a lot of screen time. She got a lot of screen time this episode, but it was her death episode, so it's kind of
I mean, yeah, she's a real person,
Mhm.
kind of, in this show. A caring individual that was
Yeah.
Fanny's best friend. I think that's the real key to her is that she was Fanny's best friend. No, she was not Margaret's favorite. Margaret's just being well, trying to be a smooth pimp and failing these couple of episodes. She's going back into even how she treated Fanny and
uh,
how she treated the girl who died. I am so bad with names tonight.
Kitty.
Kitty.
But how she treated Kitty, she gave the old classic pimp line. Oh, you're my favorite. Oh, I'd always take care of you. She gave that to Fanny later as well, and she also gave it to I think she gave it to somebody else too. But she's just
Lily
doing
Sue.
her classic pimp moves and driving her
Like,
man away and well, shit, killing people. She's a serial killer now, right? Three
yeah,
bodies. I mean, not really,
That's
but
what
some,
Mr. North was kind of
yeah,
saying to her though. He was like, he said because he's gone, he's
got
not
off
staying
track.
at the house, but he came to Kitty's funeral, and that's what he said to her was like, you've got George Howard and Kitty and uh did he say Mary Cooper? Yeah, Mary
Yeah,
Cooper.
Mary Cooper.
Her Yeah, and those are the bodies that are trailing behind her. He's like, you're starting to reek. And she's just like, you. But yeah, it's true. She's,
yeah.
it's hard out here for a pimp.
I mean, yeah, they do still have the best funerals, right? Too.
Speak,
Still.
Speaking of Mr. North, while we're on it, Sasuke, nobody mentioned how that guy kept calling Mr. North Grandpa. I mean, he's the hottest grandpa out there. Oh, what's his name? Was it Mr. Lennox? Like the teenage Mr. Lennox? I guess I kept calling him Grandpa or something like that.
No, it's the new kid over at the bar that he's been staying at,
Oh, right.
or the tavern he's been staying at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their house smells
He ends up fighting with him a little bit, so
Oh,
that's
yeah.
kind of they do it in like an organized fashion, but yeah, they start brawling, and that's basically when Charlotte kind of shows up, and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, good job, Pa! You're doing a great job." He's as drunk as a skunk.
Sasuke says that Kitty got a new acting gig with Frenchie, so they had to write them out. Oh, makes sense. But yeah, we missed like the bar scene, but that can kind of it's like when they're just hanging out and stuff like that, and it just shows that Mr. North is just like he needs a break from the craziness that is the life that involves Margaret
He's the
Wells. And
only man in a house full of women. Sometimes you got to get out of there or your estrogen. Okay, so you may think I'm sexist, but literally, a man that lives with women, their estrogen raises. It's just how it happens. You acclimate and stuff, and that can throw off your mood, make you more emotional, all kinds of stuff. but that's just the technical part of it. He's
Mhm.
getting accused of liking another cunny.
Mhm.
And, well, he doesn't, but she is trying to make the moves on him. And, uh, at least she's not seeing things, right? She's not just making shit up and being super paranoid. There's something
Yeah.
there. So you
Yeah.
gotta, that's.
And it doesn't help that now, since Mr. North left the house and he's staying over at that tavern in place, that she's also staying at. Harriet's also staying over there. So um, they're not staying together, but Margaret goes over there
Mhm.
and she sees Harriet like kind of hitting on Mr. North, and he's just like drunk, totally wasted, like just he's been drinking all day with that younger guy, and but Harriet comes over and she kind of starts, hitting on him, and then right when Margaret shows up, and so she sees the whole thing going down. She's like standing back
Well,
there watching, and she's like,
what's the
lose their
name?
shit.
Disrespects Harriet, and Mr. North don't take anyone disrespecting a lady at all. Like
Mhm.
that's just her. It didn't matter who it was, but plus he also had an affinity for her plight and her children. He can relate to her very, very well.
Yeah.
And there's not many people that Mr. North can relate to because it's just how it is. You kind of ostracized still. There's still a bit of segregation, to say the least. It's not an easy time, but I don't think he's sexually attracted to her. Nothing that he's done has made me think so. Her, who knows what it's for? I mean, how can you not be attracted to that strong man? Like, he is a hell of a dude. He is a hell of a dude. That's marriage material right there. So, you know, I'm not gay, but just saying. Whatever. That's a
It's a
good
tough.
man right there.
He
Yeah.
is. He's a really good man, and he's been really good to Margaret. And he points that out to her as another thing. Like, he's like, if I was a white man, you wouldn't talk to me this way. Like, and she says that's not the case, but like, you know, it's a good question. Like, it does draw to mind, like, not to say one way or the other what's the better option, but maybe Margaret should be a little bit more appreciative. I feel like she kind of, you know, feels like she can kind of walk on Mr. North because maybe she has a little bit of an upper hand, even though she's a woman. She's a white woman, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, even though he's a free man, it's just kind of it's a weird dynamic between them in like society, because they're still sort of a
Will
frowned
we ever get
upon.
their origin story, Aaron?
No, not really.
That
Not.
sucks.
Mm-mm.
Damn, that sucks.
You gotta
Because I'd
make it.
This
really
is
like to see how they met and
this.
shit.
Yeah, there a lot goes on this season with them.
Gotta get your fanfic started, Johnny.
Oh.
No. I got more important things to work on, but
No, I'm just joking.
I know you're joking. Don't look me in my cold, dead, blind eyes and say that, okay?
Sassafras has
Charlotte
a
and
I didn't
Theon,
give
or
myself
yeah,
syphilis. We gotta find.
Charlotte and Theon fanfic. That's what he's working on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Sasuke also.
I see what you did there, Aaron.
Mr. North as that's the case is that Mr. North also has some amazing clothes. Like he had a fuchsia jacket last season.
His
So
jacket that he had on this first episode is like that black jacket. Oh man, that thing was studly, dude.
Well,
With like
how
the
about
cuff.
them
Mm.
peachish pink pants that Howard the Duck was wearing?
That
He
he
had
got to
him
die
some.
in, those pink pants he got to die in.
Yeah, you think he changed his underwear that day? I hope he did. Now, you know what your
Anytime you
mom
ever
says.
think, I'm going to tell everybody out there, anytime you think about wearing pink pants, think about if you have to die in those, all
Is
right?
that what?
Don't wear the pink pants.
Yeah.
Nobody
yeah.
needs
Anything you're wearing,
that.
is this what you would want to die in? Me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I want to die in sleep pants and a hoodie or something or
I would
whatever.
die in yoga pants. I'd be
Why
okay
are
with
we
that.
talking about? Oh my gosh, this is so morbid. But I mean, just look at my face right now. I'm super happy. Excited.
Mrs. Scanwell likes to talk about,
taboo subjects.
Mortality and the afterlife. So she's okay.
Where do y'all live, son? Come preach in front of y'all's houses.
You can come to dirty old Arizona and start preaching.
Yeah, I'll dress up like a Mormon in disguise.
Johnny, have like a channel that's Scanwell and just preaching.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
You or whatever. Right?
Thinking about selling
I'll
Bibles.
put you to work though. Make you
Hey, Casey's still here. We got her to laugh.
Yeah, Johnny with his like Mrs. Scanwell channel. You infernal holes. Or whatever.
You cunnies are all down to hell.
He's a worthless turd.
Okay.
Basically, we kind of wrapped. We talked about the first kind of episode, and then the second one.
Did? Talked about a lot.
Yeah, we just missed like the fact. Basically, what we kind of just have to talk about is Kitty's funeral, like marching through the streets, and
we talked about that.
What happened with what's her face, Violet, and how she's working for the new magistrate. So yeah, because the one last thing we talked about the funeral, but
it's gonna be a Disney movie. She's gonna help him with the stutter. She's gonna learn how to read. Eventually, she's gonna crush his dick inside of a book because he's gonna make a move. And then it's gonna be happily ever after. She'll inherit his wealth. She'll become the new magistrate. No, but I'm interested to see. She got her hand burned, right? We kind of didn't talk about that, but she got her hand burned with a thief. So I got a question for y'all, and I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be able to stay, but I do got to pose this question to you guys. With that T on your hand, would you think about amputating your hand so that you wouldn't be considered a thief anymore and then making up a story? Because that's going to brand you. You can't even get into a store. People are going to run you off from stalls. It's going to be hard to even buy anything if you have money. It's going to be tough. But she's in a good
I don't think I would cut my hand off.
Would you burn the whole hand? Is there something you would do to make it? Would you try to get rid of that
gloves?
I guess.
Yeah.
Gloves. You got to take the gloves off. You got to take the gloves off at some point. I'm sure people check. There's a reason they put that there.
If you're in public or whatever, then you could just go for a steampunk look and wear like fingerless gloves.
And I would rather cut my hand off than wear gloves. I was like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with you? I just kidding.
Yeah, agree, Sasuke. Yeah, like
I'd wear those workout gloves with the fingers cut out, like Andrew Dice Clay.
Yeah, the finger. Yeah,
I was just listening to Andrew Dice Clay on a podcast today.
So weird. Hickory dickory dock.
He is weird.
Man.
Your granny? Well, your granny did something. I can tell this one though. Tree blind mice. See them run. Where the fuck were they going, huh? That's just the whole joke right there.
Yeah,
you don't get it?
What?
They're blind. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
What's that?
So that's the name.
I thought somebody said that. Anyways, I know. It's just a stupid rhyme. Look at my face when you're talking to me. Scream, Sasa. We can't hear you.
But yeah, we get that whole storyline, and it's basically that because she is a black woman and she's a harlot that's caught as a thief, that could be imprisoned and sent to America for 7 years.
For hard labor. They weren't messing around.
Nope.
But Amelia was like, she loves Violet. They kind of have their little romance thing going on. So her and her mother went to the justice afterwards and were basically like, begging him and saying, she's a good person. Just give her a chance. Maybe see if she basically kind of talks him into taking her in as his like his housemaid, but she can't leave. She's, instead of being imprisoned in America or just in the jail, she's just kind of imprisoned in his house, which she points out to him, like she's not allowed to leave and do things. She has to stay there and kind of serve him, and she's not paid. But Amelia comes by later when she's over there, and she's like, "Aren't you happy? Like, I did this for you." And she's like, "I guess." And she's like, "I'm not used to people doing nice things for me, but is it really that nice?"
Yeah, it's like,
Well, I mean, yeah, me and my mom are starved, so you won't become a slave. I think that's pretty nice. If I'm being honest, you and your mom are out on the streets, and well, you know what happens out on the streets, okay? You got to start doing something to eat. So, you know. But luckily, we've got a Miss Margaret Wells, and her boobies can feed a nation. So,
yeah, that whole storyline, it'll be interesting. It's not my favorite storyline, obviously, but it'll be cool to see where that one goes and how they kind of move with that one.
and I'm surprised none of y'all would cut off your hand. I mean, jeez.
Would you cut off your hand?
I already said I would. I would saw it off with a pocket knife.
Die of like potentially extreme blood loss. Just like,
yeah, then have a hideous T on my hand.
Wear a glove.
Well, I don't know.
You could just cut off half your hand and be like Corin.
A strong hand.
Corin.
I don't know.
Or Corin quarter hand.
Or Gerald Hightower. If you want to get into some tinfoil with me, because
wrap up the tinfoil.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
But and I think then there's the riot, and then Nancy's getting whipped. But at the beginning part of this episode, though, you really see how Fanny's been torn up by the fact that Kitty's dead.
Say that again.
Fanny's been torn up.
How did it get torn up? Poor Fanny.
Because of Kitty's death.
Did her brown eye get a black eye?
Oh Jesus!
All right, keep going.
And basically, because Mrs. Wells is obviously preparing Kitty for her funeral, and she's sewing up her neck, and Fanny can't really like believe that this is happening. She's like, "Don't touch her! Like she'll wake up." Like she's still in that sort of state of disbelief, almost. And you feel bad for her because like the rest of them have kind of already accepted it, but Fanny can't like accept it almost. And I feel like this will kind of carry her throughout this storyline as well too. She kind of talks to Mr. her male confidant, and she's that women don't have women are at the mercy of the powers of men or something along those lines. And it's kind of a powerful thing because it's kind of the truth that for that time at least, that women's only power besides, well, like what Tricia says, what's between your legs was at the mercy of men. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, but I feel like because of losing Kitty, that Fanny will become like a much stronger person. She even says, I think at her funeral, that she'll try and get enough money to send it to Kitty's daughter as well, which is sweet. So.
She even ordered Suzanne Summers' Thigh Master. I couldn't even get that damn joke out. It made me laugh so hard. Okay.
Yeah. You're a Fanny.
Poor Fanny.
Fanny has a horrible time. But But you know, she's got her baby, and postpartum depression. I know you brought that up, Erin. Could be a thing here. I don't know how deep they'll dive into it. I don't know if she's even got time to think about being depressed because
Well,
there's
it might
so much
not
stuff
be
going on.
depression per se, but it might be like just the emotions and like hormones that you're processing at that time. I mean, she's just had that baby, so even if it's not postpartum depression, you're just like, woo, especially since she's breastfeeding, which, Mrs. Wells pointed out. She's like, so I don't know, makes you crazy.
Muscle hamster's gonna come back in time. It's gonna. I swear that baby has back hair in a couple of days. We know whose it is.
Little baby furry babies.
I can't remember what they named. Oh, what was it? Mercy? I don't remember what they named the baby.
Yeah, they named her Mercy, but she decided to change the name to Kitty.
Do you know Fanny's story is like TLC's? I didn't know I was pregnant. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
Luckily, she did find out in time to actually give proper birth. But I mean, what was it? A couple of weeks before she was just like, "I'm pregnant." Oh shit!
I worked with this girl that totally did not find out that she didn't know she was pregnant until she was like 7 months pregnant. And I sat right next to her at work, right? And
Yeah.
I mean, she's like a big, tall, like probably, Nordic descent type woman. So she was just like big, tall, kind of thick anyways.
Mhm.
And you really couldn't tell until like about that point, until she was like 7 or 8 months, where you kind of were like, huh. But I remember I sat next to her at work, and in her cubicle, she'd always be eating chicken. She had like all these plates of chicken at her desk. I don't know. That's all. The end. Get hungry when
That's Tormund's
Chicken
dream.
joy, yeah,
Hound's dream right there.
yeah.
Eating plates of chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't even know. Yeah, she was pregnant until basically she was about to have her baby. So I was okay. No toilet birth for Fanny. Nope. No. Or there's the people that they go to the hospital and then they're like
Chamber pot birth.
stomach pains. Yeah, they're like, oh, I have really bad stomach pains. They go to the hospital. Did you know that you're actually like pregnant? And it's like, what? Yeah, like
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy.
yeah.
You go through so much. Your body goes through so much. I don't know how.
I guess it's like I guess it just depends on your body, like especially because I think most of those women too, they don't have regular menstrual cycles and stuff like that, so it wouldn't click in their heads about that or whatever. But
Well, when I had my daughter, I wasn't blind. I know that much.
no.
Apparently, I had my daughter before I contracted syphilis because she's okay.
Right.
She's home.
She can still see just fine.
If you just take that clip out of context, people be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, how does one miss? They haven't bled for well, some people like they don't have their periods regularly, or they can go months without having them. Sometimes it's strange, but sometimes it happens.
All right, I know I'm on the right panel.
Mine's like too often, if anything.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think we're kind of finished anyway. I think we covered up the main point. I don't think we.
Some chicks don't even have periods. Well, they have periods, but they don't have the whole bleeding thing too. From what I've gathered on weird documentaries, it's usually chicks that have an X. I think it's an XY chromosome. Do they have the male chromosomes? So it's just a little different.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird though. It's weird though when you get looking at all that crazy stuff. Sorry, I watch weird documentaries.
We know.
We know. You don't gotta explain. But I think we talked about everything. If we missed anything, we can probably bring it up next week. But I think we covered up the main plot points of this. Besides, Lord Fallon has killed Kitty, and that Lord Fallon's going to be a big player this season and probably is going to end up with Lucy. But anyway, what do we think is going to happen next episode? And like the predict. Well, Erin, what happens in the next episode, obviously. But it's like, what you think about Beast? But what you rate the episode and what you got going on?
First off,
oh no,
Go ahead.
you go ahead.
I just want to say Sasake. I don't know the exact terminology. I just know that there's something different there. But that could be
super
it.
female.
That could be it. But it's kind of rare.
Think
so
anyone
it's
thinks
not-
I'm a failure because I go home with Starla at night?
Nobody nobody makes me bleed. No, you make me bleed my own blood.
Oh, Jesus, Mervin. So, what did you rate the episode? What you got going on? And Johnny, what do you think may happen in the next episode? Because I know Erin
What's
can't.
gonna happen the next episode? I guarantee you, Lord Fallon gets a different type of fruit to feed Lucy. He's gonna lure her into bed with, I don't know, perhaps a pear. Just throwing stuff out
Never
there.
used the pineapple, so
Yeah.
and the
I
pomegranate.
think there's gonna be a budding love triangle between the stuttering magistrate and the two women's names I can't remember. The harlot. God dang it! Why can't I remember these people's names tonight?
Violet
and Amelia.
Violet and Amelia. I've been reading Lord of the Rings all day, so that might be why my names are off. But Amelia, and Violet. Did I say it right? Okay, that sounded perfect. Perfect enunciation.
Yep.
There's going to have to be a love triangle injected here just to make the story a little more interesting. So maybe the stutterer turns out to be a good guy. He seems like a good guy at heart. That he had some remorse for what he did to Nancy. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But he's definitely not corrupt like the last guy that was there, and he made a point of that. So who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? I mean, he could be a lot meaner, a lot more mean to Violet than he is. Like, he puts up with a lot of shit, a lot of back talk from her that, rich white dudes don't got to put up with back talk from nobody. You know what I mean? Not in this world that we're watching. So, oh yeah, mango. Mangoes are so good. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I go ahead and give them 8.5. Both of them 8.5 ivory dick sticks. And yeah, excited to talk about the next one. I may or may not be here. Got surgery on the 2nd. So this is probably my last one for a while, though. So had to make it a fun one. I appreciate y'all for.
Maybe we can get you on Harlots because we're going to be here on the 1st.
Maybe before John. If not, it was a great.
If Mrs. Scanwell starts to see again, I'll be here.
Maybe if Mrs. Wells sends you a written invitation.
I may accept that.
But, yes, it was no problem, Johnny. And yes, you do well. And we'll see you again in 2020 on Episode Club.
Yeah, don't forget, Titty Watch 2020 is still a thing. And also Titty Cruise, but I don't know if I'll be going on that cruise.
Titty Cruise.
Erin, what did you do? What you give the episode, and what you got going on besides the usual thing? the usual. Well, we're working on Queens, but besides that.
We should make that happen while Johnny's on vacation.
Yes,
because that's what it is, a vacation. But yeah, we need to do the Queens, so we have most of the work done for the Queens.
Yeah.
It's just mostly a matter of getting it,
the visuals and
and so I don't know what we might end up just. I don't know.
It'll come
Yeah, something's gonna happen, or it'll just be us shooting the shit, and hopefully you guys will want to come watch because it is going to be really interesting. But other than that, Johnny and I are still, working on the Chronicles of Fire and Blood, and then I've actually been working on an essay about a certain scandalous character from Fire and Blood, a young lady who was a handmaiden and so many more things.
She was a handmaiden, a tattooed cunny.
Mm-hmm. She was a harlot in her own right. She went from being a noble-born lady to being a harlot of Essos and many and more things.
This is Sarah Targaryen or whatever her name is.
No, it's actually...
That's a more treasonous one, but...
Yeah, this is a more low-profile, kind of scandalous girl.
Caution for young girls.
Yeah, she was actually a handmaid to...
Dudes should never say that.
Oh, Jesus. Now that clip, we can take it.
Sorry. It's true, though. But yeah, no, so I'm working on that, and then actually I might have some help from my broad pod on that also. We've been kind of working on some fun little ideas for that. So yeah, so that's hopefully kind of what I'll maybe be getting some work done on. I'm really so diligent about it, and I've had a really busy week because I've been working my butt off, but that's okay because Christmas is coming, so I gotta buy presents for the children. But
little children.
Yes, my dear little children. But yeah, other than that, I don't know, whatever. Just get ready for these holidays. So I don't know, maybe you'll see something, maybe you won't, but I love you guys regardless.
Yeah, it's content creation is hard. You may think, oh, this is easy. It's like, nope. It's a little difficult. That one is
artists. It's a process.
Yeah, artists. It takes
it takes me a long time to cultivate these awful jokes. I sit here and I write on napkins, toilet paper, my hands, wherever I'm at. I work really diligently. So I don't think you can be nearly as funny as me without a bunch of hard work. See, I can't even say it right without stumbling over myself like the magistrate. Okay.
But Erin, what did you rate these 2 episodes before?
Oh, I would say I'll give them I would say an 8. Well, I'll give the first one an 8.5. I don't know, 8.5 for them. I mean, they were good episodes. There was a lot of action. I thought that Lydia was really great in both of these. I mean, between her whole scene of getting taken to jail and then when she gets home from jail and when she loses her shit on her son and Emily Lacey, I'm sorry. That's the kind of shit I'm talking about. That's why I like Lydia. That woman can act her butt off. She just, when she grabs it, she goes back and forth between her son and Emily Lacey, and she's got Emily terrified. She's like, ah! And she runs away, her cloak's flapping. She is terrified of that woman. And I mean, and Lydia wasn't even the person doing anything. Those men were hired by Lord Fallon. So she's just got that. I don't know. I just loved her these episodes. I mean, I really, I like her a lot. She's great. She's a vicious beast.
And she's a crazy one, but she's a good actress for this character. And I think
hand jobs for a nickel. Hand jobs by Mrs. Quigley for a nickel.
I know. And that, she's that.
Fine.
She's just fine.
2 for 9 cents. 2 for 9 cents. I'll do you at the same time. You got a buddy?
Got that facial expression down. I don't know about it. If anyone's ever had to.
Don't look me in the
eye.
eye.
A hand job they didn't want to have to give. If anyone's got an ex-husband out there, you might know what I'm talking about. But anyway. But yeah, she does a great job.
And yeah, I
Oh,
think
man.
this we got I really liked these two episodes. They were strong episodes. They really show how Lord Fallon is going to be the big bad of this season, at least. And yeah, like how he kind of is like people who get in the way almost of Lucy, and because he just wants Lucy so bad. So I think I'd rate this episode 8 old lady whale tail adventures, because we talked about that today. And
Oh, I didn't give mine. I
oh,
didn't give mine good wording. Oh, mine are. I'll give it 8. Margaret's mutinies.
yeah, it's like murder mysteries.
She's like, I won't have mutiny here.
And yeah, so in terms of what's coming up for the channel, like we said at the beginning of the stream, this channel will stay the same, just the name is going to change. It'll just add the episode club with it. And this will predominantly be the live stream channel for all the content that I do that involves Erin, Johnny, and all of our myriad of other people who are normally on this channel with me. So that'll be here. And then all of my videos and all those crazy things will be on a separate channel, which will be coming in 2020. So we're not doing a stream next week because that's Christmas Day and we want you to all spend that day with your families because that's what you do on Christmas. But we should be back.
We want to be here talking Harlots anyways. Let's be honest, everyone.
I'll
And
tell you this, Quig's tug, yes, took the wig. You know he's gonna make his wife role play as Quigley. Okay, that's why he took it.
He's gonna
Yeah,
make
like
some
his
homies,
wife
like...
told him to get it. My wife told me to get that. Oh.
And yeah, so we won't be on next week, but we'll be on the week after that, which is January 1st. We'll be back for the New Year's Day, talking about episodes 3 and 4. So it gives you time to catch up if you're just lollygagging and just listening to us just talk about it. Watch this show. It's a crazy cool one. So, and yeah, we got all that going on. Yes, Sasuke, the most important thing from this stream that we learned is that Septum Ordain has a weird personal massager. And while we're wrapping up here, we might as well shout out to the patrons of the channel. We got Bobbi Catalano, Katrin Harding, Dark Mother, Katrin C, Nancy T, and the podcast.com family of podcasts. Make sure to go support all of these people in the chat. Go subscribe to them. If they're not making content, just do it anyway. Because who knows? They might actually do it one day. Who knows? Maybe that's their 2020 goal, is to make a YouTube channel or start making content or live streams. Because, hey, it's pretty fun. We have a fun time over here. So, with that, this is the last stream of, I think, or at least on this channel for 2019. So, Happy New Year's if we don't get to see you before then. And we'll see you guys very, very soon.
Polished dragon glass, Sasuke. Also, be on the lookout for your authentic, recreated Children of the Forest sex doll coming soon.
Who knows? Maybe we'll
Made from a real life child of the forest. So it's going to be really expensive.
It's voodoo.
But who knows? And maybe we'll bring back Derriere debate soon, and it'll be a whole new version. But we still got
Harlots edition.
Yeah, we'll bring it back. Don't worry. But we'll see you guys.
Do a Titty Tuesday for Harlots edition.
The jailer versus Quiggy.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll bring I got a whole thing planned. We're gonna bring back Derriere debates because we got to finish that one. at least do a big round and a book round, and we'll start a whole other section of Dare Space. But yeah, well, you guys just bring up as anything that you want, and just send over whatever you want for who you want to be involved in that show, and we'll see you guys in 2020, unless otherwise. But bye, everybody.
Remember, keep your
What?
Never mind. Just watch those. Never mind. I'm not gonna make the awful cunny joke. Just go. Get out of here before I ruin my career, which I ain't already.
Bye, everybody.
No money, no cunny.
But wait, before we go, Sasuke, Braavosi Podcast, John, House of the Conqueror, KCC, Lord Bridge, oh Jesus, Dark Mother was also here. Thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys have
Peter
made.
Griffin was here with his sexy chesticles.
If I missed you, I can't go all the way back to the top. But thank you guys so much for making 2019 so awesome. And we'll see you guys in the future. All right. Now we're going. Bye, everybody.
I love you guys for the blind fury.
Oh, Jesus. Bye.
We love you, Johnny.
We love you too. Bye. That's going on.